Chronic low-grade inflammation is now widely understood as a shared mechanism underlying most of the diseases driving mortality and morbidity in the modern world. Cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, Alzheimer's disease, many cancers, rheumatoid arthritis, and inflammatory bowel conditions all involve dysregulated inflammatory signaling as a central feature. This creates an obvious question. If inflammation is the common thread, what dietary pattern most effectively modulates it? The Greenlandic Inuit diet, built on marine omega-3s and whole animal foods, offers one of the most compelling historical case studies available. EPA and DHA, the long-chain omega-3 fatty acids dominant in marine foods, exert anti-inflammatory effects through several well-characterized mechanisms. They compete with omega-6 arachidonic acid for incorporation into cell membranes, reducing the substrate available for pro-inflammatory eicosanoid synthesis. They give rise to resolvins and protectins, a family of signaling molecules that actively resolve inflammation rather than merely suppressing it. They reduce the expression of inflammatory cytokines, including TNF-alpha, IL-1, and IL-6 through nuclear factor pathways. These are not hypothetical mechanisms. They are documented in human cell biology and have clinical correlates in intervention trials. The omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is the key variable most often ignored in popular discussions of omega-3 supplementation. Adding fish oil to a diet still dominated by industrial seed oils, soybean, corn, canola, sunflower, is a partial correction at best. These oils, ubiquitous in processed and restaurant food, flood the body with linoleic acid, the primary omega-6 precursor to arachidonic acid, and its pro-inflammatory derivatives. Reducing omega-6 intake by eliminating or dramatically reducing processed food while increasing omega-3 intake from marine sources creates a fundamentally more favorable inflammatory environment than supplementation alone. The clinical evidence for this approach is supportive, though less dramatic in short-term trials than the mechanistic data might predict. Marine omega-3 supplementation consistently reduces triglycerides, modestly reduces CRP, a systemic inflammatory marker, and shows favorable outcomes in secondary prevention of cardiovascular events. The effects in primary prevention are more variable, which likely reflects the difficulty of disentangling a single intervention from a poor overall dietary pattern. One honest complexity in the Greenlandic analysis: some research has found elevated inflammatory markers in contemporary Greenlandic populations despite their marine food consumption, which may reflect changes in diet quality and lifestyle, or the confounding effects of environmental contaminants. The lesson is not that omega-3s are magic in isolation, but that the dietary pattern as a whole, rich in marine foods, minimal in refined carbohydrates and industrial fats, creates an inflammatory profile that modern diets would benefit from approximating. The anti-inflammatory strategy is a dietary philosophy, not a single nutrient intervention.